There are big changes coming to Road to the Show and MLB The Show 21. Now, this is so drastic. This is part of what San Diego Studios describes as year one of the franchise's next-gen revamp of Road to the Show, which has undergone plenty of changes of late. In an interview with IGN, Ramon Russell said, "We really want to shake up Road to the Show and really expand it to take it in a new direction. This is the first year people are seeing that with the centralized player, the narrative element, and with being able to play as a two-way player, will be altering your character on the fly." Now, I want to talk in detail about these three key areas of improvement: the centralized player, narrative element, and the two-way player, and give you guys my opinions on what I think about it and the direction of Road to the Show. So in this video, let's go over everything you need to know about MLB The Show 21's Road to the Show. Now, first off, let's talk about the centralized ball player. Now, this is a very important distinction. Your centralized ball player is who you take through all the modes, Road to the Show and Diamond Dynasty. You can use them in programs and in moments. However, the Diamond Dynasty and Road to the Show experience are still very separate. They're just sharing the same player now. Like I said before, ball player is the foundation for the future of how people can take a created player and engage in different areas of MLB The Show. While having open door progression, this allows for people to progress their character throughout each of these modes. Now, some of the biggest changes are to the archetype progression and loadout system. Your loadouts are made up of a few different items: archetype items, perks, and equipment items. You can set up multiple loadouts for your player. Now, before you jump into a game, you'll select your loadout, and it only lasts for that game. So in theory, you could play any position in a variety of ways. Now, it's been said that the aim is for ultimate flexibility, and they want people to feel like their player can do it all. No more grinding and doing training. You can create whatever player archetype you want to create for any situation. And then you can interchange these parts and pieces to create multiple loadouts. Now, there still is some base attribute gains that will go up to 50, but the only way to get to 99s is by the loadouts and archetype items. Now, there are programs and missions that you complete to obtain these archetype items. As you progress the program, you'll get perks, equipment, stubs, and archetype items. This is very similar to the way programs work today and is now in Road to the Show for the first time. Now, I've got to say, I'm on the fence about all of this. It is very surprising that they're changing so drastically and that we didn't see any footage or hear about anything like Bowman Scout Day, the showcase games, the draft, the conversation system, the bro system. We also asked for things like college and high school. It seems like they scrapped a whole lot to mimic the moments and program system that is successful today in Diamond Dynasty. And yes, while looking at the data, it probably makes a lot of sense. This would be a great way to get people to grind in a more proven path in Road to the Show, but this big shift will no longer make it feel like a career for me. One of the greatest aspects of a player career is immersion, and being able to finish a battle pass to get a loadout that instantly makes my player better will be an immersion breaker for me. Now, I was always hoping they were going to keep the groundwork that they had laid over the last few years and continue to find more ways to add story and narrative, not necessarily rip up the entire engine for something like Diamond Dynasty. Now, the next big thing to move on to, the revamped narrative. This is going to be a new story system that's featuring 180 dynamic episodes based on your choices, your play, and your actions. There's also the addition of media bites as a ball player in Road to the Show. That is an exclusive feature for Road to the Show. These are visual podcasts that feature former players like Sean Casey, Cliff Floyd, studio host Robert Flores, and the broadcast designer Ben. Now, these new narrative elements are joining the mode as top MLB reporters and personalities react to how you play in this new in-game video or audio podcast. Now, on last-gen systems, a podcast will only be audio, while new-gen consoles will get a video version. Now, take a look and listen to what these episodes will be like.
This is the story that I am all about lately. The organization drafted him higher than he was projected to go, and they seem to believe that he could be a two-way player for them. But not everybody agrees. I've got the mayor, Sean Casey, with me. Sean, you're not sold on this idea. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I'm not sold on it because I think baseball is such a tough sport. And you know, when you first get drafted, maybe you come out of high school or you come out of college.
So in my opinion, adding more story is great. We've said this over and over again, but I've never seen these IRL narratives implemented in the right way. They're usually very generic and mostly reactive to what happened, as opposed to being a driving story that connects from game to game and gives you challenges and obstacles that you then need to think about in the next choices and decisions you make in the future. Now, we've only heard 2 of these examples, but the ones that we have heard are really lacking specific substance that make it sound like it's about my player, and that it couldn't be about just any player. To be honest, this system reminds me a lot of NBA Live's The One, where you create a character who has a natural story, you then rise up through the streets, and you continue to play in the streets or play in the league, you can play offline or online, and it's all connected by a narrative story. In The One, you can earn badges for your archetypes and upgrade your players. You could also take that player into multiplayer matches as well, 3v3, 5v5. Also, I know we haven't seen all the personalities that they've added, but I'm really hoping they acknowledge the change in media content and distribution over the last couple of years, and include journalists. That's right, I said it. Journalists like Fuzzy, Giraffe Neck Marc, and FoolishBaseball. These guys are amazing and would be authentic additions as personalities to these episodes to talk about the world of baseball. And lastly, on the key feature list is the two-way player. Now, based on a lot of feedback, they're giving players the ability to create a two-way player in Road to the Show. Pretty simple. And if you pair that up with the loadout system, you can choose to pitch or hit basically before each game. Now, the only thing you can't do is pitch and hit like Ohtani did recently. Now, I think this is a great add, but without the immersion factor, I will probably be feeling just like this is Diamond Dynasty today. I mean, I've created a player into Diamond Dynasty and gone through those moments and made him different types of players, and I didn't really have an attachment or feel like there was a story around the growth of that player. All right, so that is everything you need to know about Road to the Show and MLB The Show 21. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and until the next one, we'll see ya. Peace.